What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Help More, Sell More podcast. I am your host, Jeff Burlingame, joined by my co-host, Joe Marcoux. Joe, you pumped about talking about this subject today?
Do this! I am pumped. Let's go.
Joe is on another planet of energy, you guys, right now because he's in the middle of like a 2-day mastermind. So he's just getting like ramped up. And then I pulled him out of it to do a podcast, and then he's going to go right back in. So.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And it's so great because of what you're about to tell everyone who's listening, and if you're watching on YouTube, what everybody you're about to hear in terms of what we're going to be discussing today is critically important because there is so much garbage that is being thrown at you. And what we want to do is we want to help you help others so you can make more money for yourself and make a difference in your lives. And the stuff that I've been learning, it's like I'm going to translate like it's fresh, Jeff. It's fresh.
Yeah, I love it. So there's definitely going to be some gold on the episode today, guys. Here's the big question for the day, the major topic that we're talking about. Leads do not equal sales. I'll say it again. Leads do not equal sales.
Leads equals more work.
Yeah, leads equal leads.
Yeah, leads equals more work. Leads does not mean that you're I need more leads. Do leads put money in your bank account? No.
Not inherently, no.
More work? Do leads actually add more time into your calendar?
Right.
Do leads create freedom? Do leads create freedom, Jeff?
Nope. Leads are the old ball and chain, you guys. Why are we chasing leads? So the big question that you need to ask yourself today, every single episode, what do? We give you a big question to ask yourself. Be introspective. Look into your business. Look into your systems. Look into your people and find a solution or just come to some sort of understanding about the main topic that we talk about today, which, by the way, is episode 19, and we're just cruising along. We got some guests coming in future episodes as well, you guys, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe and drop us a 5-star review if you're enjoying the content, and also join our free Facebook group, Help More, Sell More. Look it up. Link will be in the bio as well, and we'd love to see you there and engage with you in that group. Now, the big question that we're asking today, Joe, right, is are you chasing leads or sales? And you could think of it this way too. Joe brought up a great point. Do leads create freedom? No. Are you chasing conversations about your business? Are you just chasing the opportunity to talk to anyone and everyone? Essentially, are you jumping on a soapbox in the middle of the mall? Well, I guess malls are dead now. Are you jumping on a soapbox in the middle of a large group of people, like at a concert or something? You're not even the one on stage. You're just taking over with a megaphone saying, hey, I want to tell you about my business. How many people in that audience would actually be the right high quality person for you? Like it's a good fit for them, and vice versa, and would be qualified, like have the money ready to spend, looking for your service. The chances of that being a high percentage are extremely low because you're just shouting to a mass audience. This is what Facebook marketing is, you guys. Think about it. Have you ever been through, now I'll go back to the mall for a second. I want to go way back in the day when malls were actually populated. I actually had this conversation on another podcast that I hosted last night. And Chaz is laughing at me right now because this was like our whole intro to that podcast yesterday. But I want you to picture this. It's 2003, and you are walking through a very busy mall in which there is no vacancy. All of the storefronts are open with actual stores selling goods. The mall is very populated. You're walking down the middle, and then you see in the middle of the aisle a kiosk. And at that kiosk, there is a gentleman who is just randomly spraying rags and saying, smell this perfume. Are you looking for perfume? Or are you walking through the aisle to try to get to the actual store you came to that mall for in the first place? Are you going to buy the perfume? No. What am I going to do? I'm going to bat this guy away and be like, dude, leave me alone. I don't want your freaking perfume. Or better yet, I had one example where a dude was using exfoliating cream, and he tried to grab my hand. And this is like a ridiculous sales tactic that these guys are taught. He tried to grab my hand and put the exfoliating cream on it. I was like, what? This is assault,
Jeez,
my friend.
yeah, no kidding. Let
Uh,
me pull out the laser sword.
wait, I will take your hand
Goodbye,
for this.
hand.
It's so ridiculous, you guys. So it sounds funny, right? It sounds crazy. And maybe it's not that crazy. Maybe you were that person. I mean, it's a job, right? Like we've all had that. I handed out brochures for gyms in the mall a few times. Okay, so I get it. I've been there. Is everyone in the mall looking for a gym? No. They're just at the mall, man. So, how do we get more direct marketing efforts? How do we get in front of the people who actually are ready for our service, have the money to spend on it, and are actually looking for us?
And
That's
there's
what
a
you got to be
statistic.
thinking.
There's a statistic that I recently heard, and from where is quite honestly at this very second is irrelevant. The relevancy of it though are the numbers, and there are now buyers, and then there are future buyers, and then there are also never buyers. Like
Yeah.
there are going to be people who are never interested in what you have to offer. Just never. Just know that.
Joe,
Like
if I can jump in there,
jump in, man.
that's a distribution curve, you guys. So if you guys are familiar with distribution curves and statistics, there's a 20, 60, 20% range, and it's a graph. So it actually goes up like a little arch. If you look at this, just Google it. 20% would be those never buyers. 20% would be like, I don't care what you say, I'm probably going to buy anyways. And
Mm.
the 60% are the ones you can actually influence to go one way or the other. You can make up my mind for me. If you're poor at sales and objection handling, I'm probably a no. And if you're great at that and you do a good job of finding out what my true needs, wants, desires are, and you connect with me on an emotional level, you can probably sway me to buy. But
Well,
who are these
that,
cold leads that we're chasing, right?
so what
Oftentimes they're the never buyers.
they're the never buyers. So if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, if you really just separated it down to two numbers, 85 for the number essentially is 85% of the people are not buying from you. Whether it's not buying you, like they're not buying from you right now. There's
Mm-hmm.
roughly 15. The number I had, Jeff, was 15% are they're going to buy now. And
Mm-hmm.
within that 15%, there's a percentage that they're going to buy from somebody, anybody. They're just going to buy it. Okay,
Yeah.
they're already like the decision's made. So this is the thing that I have a challenge with, and this could probably be another episode, and that is, are you an order taker or a cashier, or are you actually a sales consultant slash professional? Because
Yep.
if you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to this show, you want to be able to improve your skill set so that you can actually help people to get them to the best option you have to offer. If you've never heard me say this before, you want to go best, better, good versus good, better, best.
Yep.
It is your obligation as a trained sales professional, and again, not to sell something that people don't need, to sell them or to persuade and influence them to get them into helping them into something that they are going to get the best value and results for what they
Mm-hmm.
are looking for, including if they tell you, I don't have the money, which 9 times out of 10, they do have the money. They just need to be shown, and AKA convinced, influenced, and persuaded of the value of what it is that you have to offer. So there's a small
Right.
percentage of people. So the question here, and the purpose of this particular podcast today is: are you chasing leads only to be able to create more work, more work, more work, or are you actually getting the right qualified people so that you can make more sales? Because my question to you is: are you measuring your metrics? Like, let's say out of 100 people, how many
Mm-hmm.
people are actually buying from you on that first call? Or do you
Yeah.
have a 2 call process? Because if we're just going to say, let's say you have a 1 call process and you only close 1 or 5. I just recently had a conversation this week, Jeff, to 2 groups of people, and
Mm-hmm.
their number, and I'm looking at it right here, and I don't have to say who it is. Their numbers are 15 people out of 100. So I wrote down, you realize
Wow.
that 85 people out of 100 are not buying. And then the question is, what are you doing with those people? And
Nothing.
how much work was involved? Like,
Yeah.
imagine if you did. So my question is, do you want to do do you want to do 100 demos only to be able to get 15 to hop on board? Wouldn't you like to do 50 demos, be
Mm-hmm.
able to get 40 of them on board? Like, do the number. That would be 80 out of 100 as opposed to 15. And so that's the question. Are you creating more work for yourself? And then are you blowing your budget? And most people don't even have one. Are you spending your money senselessly on,
Yep.
hey, I'm going to get more leads, and you don't even know what the hell you're doing, right, Jeff? I mean, geez.
Yeah. So let me share a story time. Let's jump into that.
I can imagine what this story is.
I think you know
think I
exactly
know.
what the story is. I'm going to share a time when I chased the leads instead of the, the slower but better, organic, high quality, more qualified potential clients for myself. When I just chased the numbers, and this was extremely recently, I did this with Burley Sales, which we recently changed the name of to Burley Sales Coaching, in case it wasn't clear enough that we do sales coaching. This is how things happen, you guys. It's evolution of a business. So what happened was I made the mistake of hiring an advertising firm. I said, you know what? They promise leads, and this is a cautionary tale, you guys. Just hear me out. For me, it's when it comes to entrepreneurship, I actually enjoy failing. I love failing. I love making mistakes. I love doing the wrong thing. I'm okay with spending $1,000 and just watching it literally go bye-bye down the drain and do absolutely nothing for me. That's totally fine because it's a learning experience and it's cheaper than college, my friends. And I did that too. So when it comes to this scenario, I hired an advertising company. I am not going to drag them through the mud. I'm not going to name them. I'm not happy with them, but I just don't believe in just beating the crap out of people on, any public forum like this. So what happened was I hired them. They promised us leads. If somebody out there is promising you guys leads, they're probably lying. You can't promise that. How can you guarantee that? The algorithms, the way that Facebook advertising is set up and changes every single day, there is no possible way to guarantee leads. I'm sorry. We can guarantee you improving at sales because that's you. Like, you're not a Facebook algorithm. We know that if you follow the right methodologies and you practice and you role play, you can improve doing that through Burley Sales Coaching, through the Dojo. We can guarantee that, and we have price guarantees for that. Yep. That said, you cannot guarantee that a marketing strategy is going to work, because let's say that they do get you leads. What are the chances that they're high quality leads? Pretty low. Like if I'm going to go out and guarantee I'm going to get you 20 leads, guess what? They're going to be trash, because I'm just going to do everything I can to scrap to get a number to give you the guarantee to say I got you the leads. Are you happy with them?
Meanwhile, you're living in North America, and then you got somebody from Bangladesh who's getting on the phone call with you. And again, I'm not knocking anybody from Bangladesh, but the odds are
that they're not going to work with you.
You're on the other side of the world. They're in a different time zone of 12 hours away. They're in a different income area. You get what I'm saying? Trust me, there are marketing companies that are going to say, yeah, I'm going to get you leads. They're not quality leads. And like Jeff said, and I'm pumped up about this, Jeff, if unless they provide you tracking mechanisms and a 100% money back guarantee so that the leads are good, don't go there.
And this company did not do that, you guys. So basically what we did, we signed up for 3 months with them. I said, you know what? End of the day, it's $1,000 plus, cost of Facebook ads. I'm going to be likely out $2,000 if I do the whole 3 months. And we'll just have completed an experiment. Like, I'll see if it's worth going with an advertising firm. And it's funny, like Joe and I talked with our mentor the other day, Jay Williams, and he was like, yeah, never do that. So thanks for the coaching there, Jay, as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate that guy. But like, the funny thing was I went with them. We only did 2 months. I canceled this week. I told them I'm not paying the 3rd month. I'm sorry. Done deal. They didn't have a price guarantee. They got me, you guys. They got me in 2 months. Do you want to guess how many leads I got from this company?
I know.
How many, Joe?
Rhymes with hero. Looks like the shape of a cookie or a goose egg.
A big fat goose egg, you guys. They got me 0 leads. You want to know what this company said when we demanded that they cancel us and we don't pay the last month? They said, I bet you can guess this too, this never happens. This has never happened before. Like, you guys are just, something's wrong. And I was like, yeah, no shit, dude. Like, are you kidding me? This is the most ridiculous experience I've ever had. They seemed so thorough up front, so invested, and like they did market research and they put together like some ads for me, and the copy looked good and the pictures looked great, blah blah blah. And then when it came time to get leads, it didn't work at all. I'm like, what the heck is going on? You guys, it was my fault because I chased the leads. I stopped worrying about just putting the work, the effort, the energy into my business to get my message out there, to communicate with the right people qualified to purchase, that are high quality clients in the right places, like not just Instagram. We're not talking about that. We're not, maybe a Facebook group, like that's a start, but like, where are your people? How can you communicate with them more directly? I tried to take a shortcut, and guess what, you guys? There is no such thing as a shortcut in business. I'm sorry to be the one to break that to you if you haven't heard this before. There are no shortcuts in business, and these marketing companies want you to think that there are. There aren't.
No, there isn't.
I'll die on that hill. I don't care.
Well, and Jeff, you're nailing it on the head. I mean, the fact is, anybody who's been in business, the idea that people will say, "Hey, man, you're an overnight success."
Nope.
Yeah, there's the idea of an overnight success. Even companies like Facebook had a significant amount of time in terms of their buildup. Now, granted, their buildup was gargantuan. However, and there were some serious brains behind it, and it was more than one person. There's a lot of people that are listening to this right now that you just want to improve your sales, right? So you want to be able to, help more people so you can make more sales. Just remember, you can chase the leads. And what Jeff is talking about is where companies are out there and they're saying, do you want more leads? Do you want more leads? Do you want to be able, you should be advertising with us. Hey, come and put it in your ad.
It's predatory, man. It's predatory marketing. And that's the problem.
You got to remember, and I've got some notes here. You got to remember there's 5 no's that you got to consider when you're looking at a quality lead. And there's going to be, these are the things that are going to take people off your context of lead list. Number 1, they don't need what you have. No need, right? They're either qualified or disqualified. So there's no need. There's no urgency. So they might be, they might be part of that 85% of like, I might consider what you have to offer. You know what? Like, there's no urgency for them because they're not into it, or there's no desire.
They weren't even on the market.
Exactly. So there's urgency, there's desire. Then there's no money. There are legitimately people who just will not step forward. Like, listen, there are things that I desire, and I'm not crazy enough, and or not in that position of like, I'm disciplined, so I know I am not going to go into, for example, an Aston Martin dealership. Do I want an Aston Martin? Yes, I'd love one. I'm not going to go spend the money on an Aston Martin just yet. Right? It is what it is. And finally, there's no trust. If people don't have the need or have the urgency or have the desire or have the money or have the trust in you, they ain't buying from you, and those leads are going to suck. So just remember, you still have to look at, if you're starting out, whether you're starting out in sales or you're starting out in your business, or you have another goal that you want to hit. And this is something that was talked about today in the mastermind, which was this: goals are great, just like leads are great. Goals are great. If you don't develop the systems, right, or what I like to say is the habits. If you don't have the habits, you'll never reach a goal. Like, let me ask you this: for those people that are into health and wellness, for example, what's better for you to say, I have a 20 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds goal, or have a system in place, an actual system in place where you're eating right, you have a nutrition system and it's a plan, you have an exercise system and it's a plan. What's going to get you to that losing? Is it just the goal or the system and habits?
Yeah, goals don't really amount to anything if you don't plug in a good system or good habits behind it.
Pile of beans.
You want to be a millionaire? I mean, cool. Right. That's the end result. What are you going to do to be a millionaire?
Exactly.
What habits are you following?
Don't tell me, well, I need more leads to become a millionaire, because you know what? The answer to that is you need to build your skill set. You need to build your community, right? you'll have again, I'm not suggesting that people don't start in any type of sales funnel as a lead in the top of the funnel. That is not what Jeff
Mhm.
and I are suggesting. We're suggesting that why do a shit ton pile of crazy work, because being busy does not mean you're being productive.
Yep.
Being busy is not productive. I would rather you be productive. And listen, if you guys really want to get down to it, you know, rich people don't trade their time for money. What the rich people do is they buy their time with money.
Mhm.
And so I would rather you be productive and turn around and go, hey, you know what? I worked 4 hours today and I made way more money in comparison to years ago where I worked 18 hours a day, didn't have any quality
Mhm.
time with my family, and I was scraping my nails because I was chasing leads.
Mhm.
You don't have to chase leads.
Let me give you guys another example, just to really help this sink in, right? I want you to think about this. Conversion is what matters. So if I
Absolutely.
gave you 50 leads and you converted 5, or if you organically generated 20 and you converted 15, what's obviously better? Well, the 15 from the 20.
Yeah,
You know what took less time to deal with? 20 leads
big
versus
time.
50.
Yep.
Now, here's the example. Back in the day when I was running my gym, we did the same thing. Like, listen, you got to learn from your mistakes and then try to remember that you learned from those mistakes already. Okay, hear me out though. I chased leads when I was at my gym as well. And one of the examples of these times that I was definitely making a mistake was when I signed up for a company that offered a 6-week challenge. Now, for the gym industry, you've heard this. You get it. Trainers, coaches out there, you get it. The 6-week challenge, you will love it or you hate it. Most of us hate it after we've done it, though. You go through, you learn from this experience. The problem with the 6-week challenge is that it's a specific beginning and end date, and it's very hard to keep those clients as long term clients, which is much more valuable than that 6-week period. So we'd get them in. This company would generate the leads, they do the ads, generate the leads, they would take a cut. And it was my job to convert as many of those 6-week challengers at the end of the 6 weeks to long-term members. And the expectation was 20 to 25% would be great conversion. Think about that.
Mm.
So what I would end up doing is we'd have this. It was like everybody. It was a big group 6-week challenge. We'd all run through at the same time. And this company is defunct, by the way, at this point. And 6-week challenges are all but dead. So just let that sink in too. But we did this for 2 years straight, and we ran about 7 or 8 of these challenges. And during that time, we would bring in like around an average of like 75 to 100 women. It was a women's only challenge through this 6-week program. I retained 0 after 2 years. I might have converted them to quote unquote regular members for a period of time. But at the end of 2 years, after doing all those challenges, I retained 0 as a long term member. Why? Because they signed up for something totally different. They weren't actually looking for me, they were looking for a quick fix, a quick change. I gave them that through the 6 weeks. I persuaded and influenced them to do the longer term membership because I knew, and you guys know, 6 weeks is not enough to make a change and make it permanent. That's not realistic. But that was the idea sold to these women by that company. So by
Yeah.
me chasing the leads, you create a space in the market for companies like this to exist, and they're predatory and they prey on your need for leads, which unfortunately has a negative impact on your ideal clientele or on just a sort of random bystander clientele that actually wasn't looking for you at all,
And
because you
you
draw them in, they do the 6 weeks, you can't get them into long term, they don't make long term habits, and then what happens in their head? They go, 6-week challenges are the devil and
yeah,
fitness is the devil. And now I don't want to
right.
do that stuff anymore. And you break them. I've probably broken, and I feel this all the time, you guys. This hurts. Like, I probably broke quite a few women through that program for fitness. And that's my fault. I own that because I was chasing leads. I was chasing just the quick fix for my business. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you this, we hit a time at the end of that 2-year period where I stopped doing the challenges. And this is where it really hurt. It really sank in. I lost all of those women. It was about 40 women in total, which at the time was 30% of my membership
Wow.
in 1 month. In 1 month, I lost 30% of my membership.
That's,
So, I mean, if you guys are listening, if you've ever lost even 5% of your revenue
kick in
in a
the ass.
month, it's insane.
The thing that you said there, Jeff, and I think it needs to be reiterated for everybody, and is that, listen, we all need leads, and the key here is what kind of lead, or what the way
Yeah.
you said it was quality lead. And the exercise that I want to encourage people to do, if there's going to be a take home from today, because again, we're not suggesting that, hey, just sit back and wait for people to come in and sell them, because again, we don't want you to be a cashier. That's not what we're saying. You're not an order taker. The key here is, what is your customer avatar?
Mm-hmm.
Organically, if you know that birds of a feather flock together, the person who bought from you, right, and they see the value in terms of what you have to offer, do the customer avatar exercise. Who are they? And get specific, because now you can target the appropriate people to sell. The point of today's podcast is, how can you be more productive in your sales approach? You can take, like there's a gun that like sprays out everywhere, and you're not going to, you think, yeah, I'm going to shoot everything. Well,
it's a shotgun versus sniper.
Right. So the shotgun approach, yeah, you might hit things, but you're not killing anything. So that's right. It's like, what's the point? You might be making a lot of noise, and really what you're doing is you're spending a lot of money. And what Jeff and I want you to do, and we're not suggesting that marketing doesn't work. Of course it works.
Right.
What we're saying is, if you have the choice, wouldn't you want to be able to close more? Because here's the thing, sales is the lifeblood of everyone who's listening's business, period. It's not lead gen, it's closing, it's conversion. So if you come down to it, what do you want to do? Do you want to work more? Like, if at the end of the day, if you, let's just say you're a salesperson and you're making 6 figures a year. My question to you is, do you want to get more leads and make the same amount of money? Or do you want to have fewer leads without increasing your retail and or increasing your commission? I'm saying increase your conversion. So that means you work less and make the same amount of money. That, to me, tells me you're ahead. Yep. Then the next step is, hey, what if I put in the same effort level, and for the leads, the conversion rate, I go from closing 15 to 30 out of 100. Well, guess what? Your lead gen doesn't change. What's changed is your conversion, which means your skill level goes up, which means so does the impact you make. Here's the thing that a lot of people forget, and this is why I'm a big believer in doing what we call in lead cycles, the buyer form, which means when you have a bigger number of buyers, your lead generation goes up because of the level of birds of a feather flock together testimonials and referrals you get. So if you do a better job of closing sales, of conversion, you will have more leads from the people in your tribe, from those existing customers. And that's the point that Jeff and I are making. It's not overnight. The whole thing that I said earlier, hey, you're an overnight success. No. What it takes is, it takes you building that relationship with the people that you've sold to and maintaining that relationship, and then getting to a place where 5 words, who do you know who? Who do you know who that would also love to get the results that you're getting from what we have to offer? I would really appreciate you if you could introduce them to me. If you're delighted with what we have to offer, then wouldn't it make sense that you introduce them to us so that we could delight others too? We could help those people too. That is what's going to make the difference, as opposed to, let's spend a shit ton of money and see how many people we can get in the funnel, only to create a crap ton of work so I don't get to see my kids grow up. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? It makes no sense to me.
That's such a great point. Like, the other correlation here, or lack of causation, you guys, is that the more money you spend with Mark Zuckerberg over on Facebook does not equate to the number of leads. You spend
Nope.
$5,000, you don't get $5,000 worth of leads. You can spend, like me, $1,000 and get 0 leads. And it's not even the first time I've done that. I've tried making ads myself. I've done it before. I've had successful ads, but there are multiple examples where I've had unsuccessful ads. And again, to Joe's point there, I wanted to bring this up earlier, but why not bring it up at the end of the episode? Marketing is not a bad thing. Marketing is not
Exactly.
the devil here. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is quality marketing is better.
Yep.
So if you don't know who your avatar is, you have zero business doing any paid advertising. I'm sorry. Like, that makes no sense. You don't know who you're advertising to. There are so many ways to just zero in on and get extremely granular with Facebook ads and retargeting campaigns. Like, if you don't know who you're talking to, don't do paid ads, please. Just stop right there. Don't hire an ad agency because they don't know who you're talking to and you don't know who you're talking to. So nobody knows what's going on. You're just poking around in the dark. This makes no sense. Start organically. Start by trying to figure out who that avatar is. Who are they? How old are they? Male or female? And like, what do they do for a living? Do they have kids? Are they married, unmarried? How many hours a week do they work? What are their preferences? What do they like doing? What are their hobbies? Are they active or inactive? They, mostly spend their time inside or outdoors. Those are the things you need to understand, like that granular and more.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they make? Where do they live in your area? Specify by zip code. You have to really dig in and understand exactly who this person is. Otherwise, you have no business doing any sort of outside marketing. Stay internal. Work on your referrals. Who do you know who?
Play that back. Play everything back that Jeff just said. Like, rewind it and answer all those questions. Answer the question, where do they hang out when they're not in your location or on the phone with you or on a Zoom call with you? What do these people do and who else do they hang out with? Are they interested in other things? Then the other thing from there is, what are ways that you could get in contact with them at an extremely low cost? Email marketing. Right? There's an example. What about getting leads from a joint venture partnership? Like, do you want to blow your brains out from getting leads online like Jeff, attempted to do? And there's nothing wrong with that attempt. There's nothing wrong with the attempt. The question here is, don't get caught into this, magical, rainbow unicorn BS, as opposed to getting into, hey, you know what? I know this guy. He's got this business, and I'll use Vince Del Monte as the example, right? Vince Del Monte, Craig Ballantyne, these are people that I associate with. I'm in Craig's mastermind. Why? Well, because Craig, I pay to get close to people who are also successful, and guess what? So do other people, and they send me people my way. So there's a question of proximity. Are you willing to pay to get close to other successful people, surrounding yourself with the conditions and people that you want to produce? Now, you have to make that investment, and you've got to build the relationship and prove that you do what you say you do. And then you can provide affiliate marketing. You could provide, hey, listen, if you send me a lead, I'll give you a bonus. Or you become joint venture partners, where if there's, this is what's really cool. There are some people that believe in what Jeff and I do so much that they're coming to us and they're saying, hey, you know what? I got like an actual avatar list. Let's go over it. And they tell us who their customer avatar is. And they go, listen, I would love for you to help these people. And what I want to do is, if I introduce you to this list of people that know, like, and trust me, and I tell them to take your program or buy from you, I would just simply like a piece of the action. Well, my answer to that is, I have zero work here, so I don't have to blow my brains out with marketing. And I'll tell you what, I am more than happy to provide a portion of the proceeds to that person. And guys, you can do that. Whether it's product-based or service-based or coaching, it doesn't matter what it is you are quote-unquote promoting or selling. You have opportunities with joint venture partners out there. You just got to go and find them.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point too. So we definitely market There are good ways to market and bad ways to market. That's kind of the point of the episode today. So I'd say next episode we're going to talk about marketing. So we'll cover all those things and more, just so you guys know. And ultimately, what I want you guys thinking about with marketing too is that if you're simply leaning on one form of marketing, you're using it as a crutch. And that's not enough. That's not stability. So if we only do paid marketing, or you only hire an ad firm, like you're not doing enough. Marketing is all about more pokers in the fire. So if Joe has one joint venture partner versus 6, what situation do you honestly think is better? Like it doesn't end with one. He doesn't go like, let's hook up with this dude. That's it. We're good. Right? No, it's how many can we work with?
And it also depends, and we'll talk about this, is how often are you going to that specific well? You should have different wells. So if you've got the joint venture well, eventually that well could dry up a little bit. So you start to go focus in other areas. Is it, hey, when was the last? And I'll ask you guys this: be brutally honest. And by the way, when somebody buys from you like right then and there at that moment, it does not count.
Yep.
What counts is, when was the last time you asked somebody for a referral? Be honest. Because I tell you what, I ask this question often enough with some of my coaching clients, and they go, and so the answer is you don't. And we've just been going over this whole thing of, why do you want to blow your brains out spending money when you have an existing database and or a community? I mean, you could call on them as long as you've earned the right to do so. Because and I'll give you the example. I've had real estate agents who, bought a house, and they come and see me, a couple weeks after I move in, and they're not even interested. As you could tell, they're not there to see how are things going. They're coming in with a question, which they can ask, but I ain't gonna give them the referral question.
Right.
Now, if they were to stay in touch and, hey, congratulations on the new home, send me a small gift, a little token of appreciation, not ask for a referral yet, and do a follow-up call. Hey, you guys moved in? Are all the boxes out? Okay. Do you guys need a hand with anything in that regard? Okay. Not ask for the referral. Maybe send me a newsletter, which quite honestly, I don't read. However, I get what they're trying to do. And you see where I'm going with this? They're doing what they can to stay in touch. And then they reach out, like reaching out with a paper newsletter saying, got referrals. Like, I'm not gonna respond on that.
Here's my business card. Can you hand this out to somebody who needs a home? Like,
exactly.
No.
However, if you did a, hey, wine and cheese event for people that have bought homes from me in the last year, my treat, and tell you what, and then at the end of the event, it's like, hey guys, obviously, one of the reasons why I brought you here is, one, I want to give you an opportunity to say that I appreciate you. You've been able to help me and provide me with a lifestyle that I'm living. And I'd like to know, are you happy? And that's how you preface it. Are you happy, or are you delighted with the level of service that you've received from me, even after you got your home sold or your home purchased? Great. Do you know other people? This is the only thing I want you to reflect on. Do you know other people that would like to be able to have this kind of experience when buying or selling a home? If you do, please keep me in mind. I mean, my God.
So the funny thing is, we used to do in when I owned my gym, a wine and wad, which was
nice. Right on.
Or beers and bros, which would be like when we get together with like all the women in the gym or all the men in the gym, and that turns into like, hey, bring your friend with you, right? And they can see like how fun it is. We're not your typical gym. Yeah, exactly. So think of it like this way:
bicycle group ride.
Exactly. Like
bikes and beers, man. Yeah.
You can think of it this way: I'll foot the bill. I'll pay all that. Now think about it. I just spent $1,000 on Facebook and I got 0 return.
Dude,
a bunch of wine.
You could spend a third
less.
Of that.
Yeah. Like $150. I got enough wine for all the ladies in the gym, and then they can bring a friend, and they love it. Yeah. I mean, $150, $300. I'm happy to spend that. Why? I mean, one, it's an enjoyable experience, and I'm getting an opportunity to help them have a great experience. And Two, they're probably going to bring friends who will probably join because they'll be like, wait, this is what your gym does? My gym just like chastises us if we eat a bagel. Like, no, we have way more fun.
I
So
love
it's
it.
like we
Yep.
provide that experience. So you know what, guys? Next episode, we're going to talk a ton about marketing and like all the different methods that really, really work, and not this nonsense hire an ad firm. If there's any takeaway at all we're saying is like, if you don't know who you're selling to, then your ad agency doesn't know who you're selling to. So please
Hell
don't
no.
waste your time or money. And chances are, if somebody guarantees you leads, they're lying. And if they get you leads, they're just numbers. They're not going to be good quality for you. It's going to be a waste of your time. So at the end of the day, please don't chase the numbers. Don't chase the leads. Chase the conversion of the right people.
Correct.
And we're going to talk more about how to attract those right people in the right ways on the next episode. Hopefully this episode was helpful for you guys. I know like we're real passionate about this. It's just because we see this going on in the world. And I mean, I could probably throw a rock in the air and hit a quote unquote marketing company on the head. And maybe you've been DM'd, sailed, you know, like somebody tried to sell you through your DMs on LinkedIn or whatever. Probably twice a day I get stuff like that from marketing companies. I'm going to help you grow your business by 100 leads this year. Like, no, thank you. Turn them down, shut it down. Let's move to conversions, and conversions of the right people. Let's do the right stuff, and let's ultimately help more people and sell more because of it.
You got it.
All right, that's all we got for you guys today. Be sure to drop a 5-star review if this was helpful, and be subscribed for future episodes. We'll see you next week talking about marketing. Chaz, take us out.